Good day, friends. Let's see next part of our unit number 6. In last lecture we have seen about SEZ. Now in this lecture we'll see something about coastal regulation zone. More about coastal regulation zones. Now coastal regulation zone, it is also called as CRZ. It is a scheme of Government of Maharashtra. Sorry, it is a scheme of Government of India. Now let's see something about Indian coast. Now we have nearly 9 coastal states and 4 coastal union territories. Our coastline is about 7,517 kilometer. Now mainland coastline is about 5,423 kilometer and offshore islands 2,094 kilometer. Now total we have in India total islands of the amount of 1,382. Now, out of that, main islands are 514 in Indian states. In Lakshadweep, that is Union Territory, there are 32 islands, and in Andaman and Nicobar, there are about 836 islands. Now, coastal conservation evolution of and regulation. It is a directive by Prime Minister Office to keep beaches clean in the year 1981. Under the guidelines in the year 1983, there have given guidelines for beach conservation in the year 1983. Then CRZ notification in the year 1991 under the section E into bracket PA, that is Environment Act 1980, Preservation Act 1986, clause 19.2.91. Then MS Swaminathan committees, they have given a report in the year 2005 and 2009, and CRZ 2011 and IPZ 2011 notification issued in the year 6/1/2011. West Bengal assisted ICZM project initiated in the year March 2010. Now CRZ limits, these are the limits. Notification, okay, this is high tide level, this is low tide level, okay, and there is a regulation of 500 meters from high tide level. There is a regulator from high tide level up to 200 meter and again into up to 500 meter, and low tide level there is a regulation up to 1.2 kilometers. So this comes under the limit of coastal regulation zone. Here you can see 50 meter NDZ in mainland island, backwater island. Now CRZ classification and regulation. These are the legends: high tide, 200 meter CRZ line, 500 meter CRZ line, then rural urban boundary. Okay, you can see the legends over here. Okay, you just go through this figure. Now let's see CRZ1. This is CRZ2, applicable to metropolitan cities like Mumbai. Now special provisions for Mumbai, Kerala and Goa. Then Mumbai specific regulations, slum redevelopment schemes and redevelopment of dilapidated or unsafe buildings, dynamic town and country planning regulations, but stringent norms, C and AG, RTI, right to information, 51% state government stake, monitoring by high level oversight committee and public consultation of individual projects. The list of dilapidated buildings frozen on 6 January 2011. Koliwadas, that is fishermen's villages and gauthans, declared as CRZ3, in CRZ2, thus NDZ of 200 meter applies. Restriction of construction and reconstruction of buildings of fishermen houses. The island within the backwater shall have 50-meter NDZ in Kerala. The mangroves along such as Khajan land shall be protected and a management plan for the Khajan land prepared and no developmental activities shall be permitted in the Khajan land in Goa. This is CRZ10. High tide line level to 200 meter. Ports and harbors, repair and reconstruction of houses of local people with existing FSI or FAR, projects of Department of Atomic Energy, salt manufacturers, non-conventional energy, POA storages, weather radars, basic facilities for local community STP, ice plant, fishing infrastructure, 200 to 500-meter hotels and resorts with 9-meter height and 33% FAR, construction reconstruction of houses. CRZ4 regulations, you can just go through it. Now, developmental activities, prohibited activities, new industries and expansion of industries except project of Department of Atomic Energy, non-conventional energy, repair of houses, handling and transfer of hazardous substances and POL, land reclamation for port facilities, treated sewage disposal mechanism, prohibits untreated sewage and solid waste disposal, mining of sand rocks other than rare minerals, construction of in CRZ1 except those permissible. Permissible activities, waterfront and foreshore facilities, housing projects, erosion control measures, project of atomic energy and defense, lighthouses, pipelines, conveyance system, oil and gas extractions, cooling water intake, non-conventional energy, desalination plants, demolition and reconstruction of public buildings. Issues in CRZ, housing construction in accordance with local town, country planning, tourism to be permitted along beaches with minimum setbacks or no setback, fishermen houses to be constructed in NDZ, coastal roads and infrastructure to be permitted, eco-friendly development in ESS, reclamation to be permitted for construction, no CRZ regulation in port areas, thermal power and certain industrial activities mining to be permitted, pollution, erosion, salinization and destruction of habitats. Now factors of coastal hazard line. Now let's see smart cities mission. Now what is smart city? Objectives of smart city. It provides basic infrastructure, quality of life, clean and sustainable environment, apply smart solutions, set examples to be replicated both within and outside the smart city, and catalyze the creation of similar smart cities. What is basic infrastructure? Basic public infrastructure is built by dovetailing and synergizing with other missions and schemes such as AMRUT. Basic infrastructure includes assured water and electricity supply, sanitation and solid waste management, efficient urban mobility and public transport, affordable housing, robust IT activity, e-governance and citizen participation, safety and security of citizens, health and education, and economic activities and livelihood opportunities. Now, citywide smart solution, e-governance and citizen service, public information, grievance and redressals, electronic service delivery, citizen engagement, citizen cities eyes and ears, video crime monitoring, waste management, waste to energy and fuel, waste to compost, waste to be treated, recycling and reduction of C&D waste, water management, smart meters and management, leakage identification, preventive maintenance, water quality monitoring, energy management, smart meters and management, renewable energy sources or renewable sources of energy, energy efficient and green buildings, urban mobility, smart parking, intelligent traffic management, integrated multimodal transport, others, telemedicine and teleeducation, incubation, trade facilitation centers, skill development centers. What are smart solutions? Smart solutions are application of information technology and computers to municipal services and infrastructure to make them better. Examples: smart meters, smart water meters and billing systems, remotely controlled automatic distribution walls, real-time online systems of monitoring water quality, citywide intelligent video surveillance network, using mobile phones for cyber tours of work sites. Area-based development models (ABM), retrofitting, development of an existing built area greater than 500 acres so as to achieve the objective of smart cities mission to make it more efficient and livable. Example: local area development, that is in Ahmedabad. Redevelopment: replace existing built environment in an area of more than 50 acres and enable co-creation of a new layout, especially enhance infrastructure, mixed land use and increase density. Example: Bhendi Bazar in Mumbai. Greenfield: developed a previously vacant area of more than 250 acres using innovative planning, plan financing and plan implementation tools with provision of affordable housing, especially for example, New Town in Kolkata and Naya Raipur, Gift City. Components of area-based development: holistic development of existing and new areas. One area catalyzes the development of other areas and sets an example for other cities. Quality of life in areas meets citizens' expectations and has planned mixed land use, housing especially for the poor, walkable localities, accessibility to parks, public transport, preservation and development of open space, public transport, last mile connectivity, governance in citizen friendly and cost effective. Features: small parking, intelligent transport system, telecare, traffic management, smart grids, smart urban lighting, waste management, smart city maintenance, smart taxi, and digital signage. AMRUT, that is Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation. Provision of basic services to households and build amenities in cities will improve quality of life for all. During 2011, a high power expert committee HPEC estimated an amount of 39.2 lakh crore for creation of urban infrastructure. Learning from earlier mission have shown that infrastructure creation should have a lot of impact on real needs of people, such as providing tap and toilet connection for households. Focus should be on creation of infrastructure which has a direct link to connect to provision of better services to the people, according to President of India. Pursuit of better outcomes will not stop by providing taps and sewage connections to all. Other benchmarks will be targeted following a set-by-set process after achieving benchmark of universal coverage, such as gradual process of achieving benchmarks in incrementalism. Before, Memorandum of Understanding or sorry, Ministry of Urban and Development used to give project by project sanctions, now replaced by state annual action plan once a year by MOUD, that is Ministry of Urban Development, and states have to give sanctions and approval at the end. States are equal partners in planning and implementation of projects such, thus actualizing the spirit of cooperative federalism. Mission focuses supply of water and sewage connection to every household, storm water drains to reduce flooding, increase the amenity value of cities by developing greenery and well-maintained open spaces, that is parks, reduce pollution by switching to public transport or constructing facilities for non-motorized transport, that is example walking and cycling. You can see those features in these images. Now, criteria of selection: cities and towns with population more than 1 lakh, notified municipalities and cantonment boards, all capital cities, towns of states and union territories, all cities, towns classified as heritage cited by Ministry of Urban Development under Hriday scheme. 13 cities and towns on stem of main rivers with population ranging from 75,000 to 1 lakhs. 10 cities from hill states, islands and tourist destinations, population not greater than 1 lakh, or the number not greater than 1 lakh, one from each state. Sorry, not greater than one from each state. Central government provides 30% if the population is greater than 10 lakhs and 50% if population is less than 10 lakhs. Mission components: water supply. Water supply system including augmentation of existing water supply, water treatment plants and universal metering, rehabilitation of old water supply systems including treatment plants, rejuvenation of water bodies specifically for drinking water, and supply and recharging of groundwater, special water supply arrangements for difficult areas, hill and coastal cities including those having water quality problems. Sewage, decentralized network underground sewage system including augmentation of existing sewage systems and sewage treatment plants, rehabilitation of old sewage plant systems, treatment plants, recycling of water for beneficial purposes and reuse of wastewater. Septage, facial fecal sludge management, cleaning, transportation and treatment in cost effective manner, mechanical and biological cleaning sewers and septic tanks, and recovery of operational cost in full. Stormwater drainage, construction and improvement of drains and stormwater drains in order to reduce and eliminate flooding. Urban transport, ferry vessels for inland waterways excluding port bay infrastructure and buses, footpaths, walkways, sidewalks, foot overbridges and facilities for non-motorized transport. Example, bicycle, multi-level parking and bus rapid transport system, that is BRTS. Green space parks, development of green space and parks with special provisions for child-friendly components. Indicative list of inadmissible components, purchase of land for projects or project-related work, staff salaries of both the state government, ULBs, power, telecom, health, education, and wage employment program and staff component. Program management on national level by Apex Committee, state level high power steering committee, that is SHPSC, and city level urban local bodies, that is municipalities and corporation. Urban local bodies ULB will be responsible for mission. Apex Committee, Secretary of Urban, Ministry of Urban Development, Chairman including secretaries of relevant departments as members and mission directors as member secretary, approach SAP from SHPSC, allocates funds to states or union territories, overall monitor and supervise the mission, advise state or union territories on innovative ways of mobilizing resources, private financing and land level leveraging. State level high power steering committee SHPSC, headed by state chief secretary with with primary secretaries of related departments and personal secretaries of urban development as member secretary, identify the gaps in infrastructure and ways to achieve urban reforms, finalization of financial layouts, prepare the SAP based on the slips and ULBs of state prioritizing cities based on resources available, approve the projects after they are technically approved by SLTC, monitor and quality efficiency and other legal aspects, etc. Urban local bodies ULB will be responsible for mission. Municipal Commission look over preparation of slip. ULBs will be develop roadmaps and are responsible for building coordination and collaboration among stakeholders for timely completion of projects without exceeding the budget allocated. Preparation of service level improvement plans, slips. The service level improvement plan slip has to be prepared by each ULB and the strategic steps are given below. Assess the service level gap, bridge the gap, examine alternative cost, estimate the cost, prioritize financing and reforms. State Annual Action Plan SAP. The basic building block for the SAP will be the slips prepared by the ULBs. At the state level, the slips of all mission cities will be aggregated into the SAP. Therefore, SAP is basically a state level service improvement plan indicating the year-wise improvements in the water supply and sewage connections to the household. Principles of prioritization, importance of operation and management, financing of projects, approval of SAP. The AMRUT will provide projects funds to ULBs through the state's criteria to evaluate the SAP by the Ministry of Urban Development are how well has the state government diagnosed the service level gaps, how well has the state planned and financed capital expenditure, what is the expected level of the financial support from central government, and how have the state or ULBs and other source of finance been identified and assessed. Fund allocation. The total outlay of AMRUT is 50,000 crore for 5 years from financial year 2015-16 to financial year 2019-20, and the mission will be operated as centrally sponsored scheme. The AMRUT may be continued after the light of an evaluation done by Ministry of Urban Development and incorporating learning in the mission. The mission funds will consist of the following four parts. Project fund, 80% of the annual budgetary allocation. Incentives for reforms, 10% of annual budgetary allocation. State funds for administrative and office expenses, 8% of the annual budgetary allocation. Ministry of Urban Development funds for administrative and office expenses, 2% of the annual budgetary. Now let's say allocation. Now release of funds, 3 installments of 20 is to 40 is to 40. The funds will be kept in separate bank account by the implementing agency. Advance of rupees 25 lakhs for preparation of SLIP and individual capacity building. Now upon approval of the SAP by the Apex committee, in the installment 20% of the central assistance is released. The states submit their claims for release of second or third installment of CA for project under April, August, November and February for all ULBs that have met the AMRUT condition for. The second and the third installment of rupees 40,000% each of the approved cost are released quarterly after submission of usage report. Project funds request only summary report in Annexure 6.2 and the scorecard showing the progress on. Thank you very much.